Would you vote for Jon Stewart if he ran for president? If so, why? If not, why? I have not seen everything Jon Stewart has done, but I know that in particular when he discussed a field I was knowledgeable in, he missed the mark fairly significantly. With that said, I would not be afraid to vote for him because I believe he does have integrity and a drive to make the world better. Hopefully he can surround himself with a knowledgeable cabinet to help him, and I would assume he would leave office with the US being on a better path than when he came in. I feel like he does this to a degree, having more knowledgeable people on, with his show. There are times when I think he hits the mark. Same with John Oliver. But I do believe that these people doing these types of shows are trying to highlight the issues that need conversations and the end goal for solving the problem. And yet it's the same with corporate America. The best management are the ones that never wanted it, but the alternative was much worse. Worst bosses are the ones I have found are the ones that really want it. The skill to be a powerful critic and agent for change is not necessarily the skill to be the power truth is spoken to. As an observer, commenter, and participant in the public discourse, he can stand firmly on his principles and advocate for balancing power. Becoming that power would create opportunities to claim his integrity was being compromised, diluting his productive efforts with the need to defend his positions and decisions against frivolous attacks. He can do more good where he is, I think. No. Jon Stewart does more good on the outside raising important questions than he would on the inside being awash with the institutional chaos. Let him continue to do his good work. Give him more to do, bigger audiences, bigger platform. Let the politicians understand that they won't go unchecked with their bullshit. Give young journalists a reason to believe that asking the right questions is the way forward. We don't need to always elect the good guys. But we definitely need to stop electing the bad guys. Jon Stewart does more good on the outside raising important questions. I'm not sure we're appreciating how much power and influence the president has. This issues he raises as president will have a massively bigger audience and he gets to push actual legislation. Not only that, he has a better chance to win, IMO, than others, making it a lot less likely an asshole to become president. The good that comes, not only from the work he could do, but also the bad that he could prevent from happening by winning, I think is unmatched. I think you're overstating his impact by quite a bit. At the end of the day, Jon Stewart is an entertainer. He entertains through a lens of political journalism, but he's not truly a journalist in the sense that he's not really trying for impartiality. He's a pundit with an agenda and happens to also be a razor-sharp debater. This makes for great TV, sure, but the only people watching it are his pre-existing audience, and at times, a handful of others if he goes sufficiently viral. Put more plainly, he's preaching to the choir. Yes, he's done work pushing legislation for 9/11 firefighters, but this is an individual causes he's taken up and I'm glad he did, but that can, cynically, be considered a pet project. To say that his influence is larger than or equal to that of a lawmaker because he brings up important questions just doesn't ring true to me. Broadly speaking, we know what's wrong with the government and our country. The questions have been asked and we know what the solutions are. We need our government to unfuck itself so we can implement those solutions, but they have shown they are truly incapable of doing so. Johnny ain't saving us from that. I think the problem is our only choices end up being bad guys. We've been playing the lesser of two evils game for decades now and it fucking sucks. Why not give him 4 to 8 years to see what he could accomplish in that time? He can always go back to being investigative journalist after that and continue the work he's doing now, except he would have a Secret Service detail with him. LOL WTF? If he was the president it would tenfold that influence. This attitude only works if you consider the consequences of saying no. If we say yes, Jon Stewart is president. If we say no, who becomes president? Honestly, if the alternative is just another election cycle with the same broken system, then I'd rather have Jon Stewart for 4 years just to prove to the country how good things could be. Can't elect the good guys if they all stay outside the system. Hopefully he can surround himself with a knowledgeable cabinet to help him. This is it right here. I feel like he's humble enough that he would do exactly this before making big decisions. There's a big difference between how he speaks about subjects in his comedy shows and how he would make decisions that affect millions of people. I feel he has shown us he is a humble, intelligent, and empathetic man. That alone puts him light years ahead of anyone currently in American politics. We don't need to always elect the good guys. But we definitely need to stop electing the bad guys. What's the alternative to electing bad guys if not good guys? Average guys? Like, I have no idea how to interpret this. Maybe I'm stupid. Agreed. His testimony in the 9/11 firefighters case really opened my eyes to the fact that he believes passionately in doing the right thing and loves his country. Presidents don't need to know everything. They need to be willing to listen to the experts in a given field, who will be smarter at that than any president ever could be, and then decide on a course based on what they believe is best. Ability to listen to others and their moral stance are really all that matter in a president. I know that in particular when he discussed a field I was knowledgeable in, he missed the mark fairly significantly. I'm not a fan of his, but, to be fair, that describes nearly everyone in media, to the point that I can't think of any exceptions. Whether it's due to ignorance, comedy, arrogance, laziness, rhetoric, agenda, or lack of time, no one in media can get the details of specialized stories straight. When he discussed a field I was knowledgeable in, he missed the mark fairly significantly. Can you expand on this part? And can you explain it for those of us who aren't as knowledgeable about the topic at hand? Curious which field you are referring to where he missed the mark. Integrity and a drive to make the world better. As Zelensky has emphatically proven, these traits, and other general ones like knowing how to choose competent advisors, are far more important than any experience in other areas of government. Jon regularly features experts who disagree with his coverage, and openly welcomes their corrections, on his podcast. He actively searches out those who fill the gaps in his knowledge and admits his shortcomings, qualities any president must have.